What's up guys, Bigfoot here, and this is going to be my a Minecraft Redstone tutorial. I made one on Xbox, but there are a bunch of different things between Xbox and PC, a bunch of new stuff added to PC. So I'm going to be doing a completely different one for PC, going a little bit more in depth, but kind of just showing you the basics. So I'm going to take all this stuff out of this chest. So you can mine redstone dust. It looks like this in its ore with an iron pickaxe. Whoops. That wasn't good. There we go. So with an iron pickaxe you can mine it. It will differ on how much redstone dust it gives you. As you can see. Usually it's around 4. That one just gave me 3. And yeah. So it's kinda easy to get redstone dust. It's not really rare like diamonds. You'd probably find it as much as you find iron, so, you know. It's not everywhere, but it's not really that rare. So you can place redstone dust on normal blocks, 1 tall. You can't place it on things like fences or slabs. You can't place it on anything that you can open because you'd end up opening it instead of placing it. And you can't place it on things like glass. So, now we're going to get into the mechanisms that activate a redstone current. So right here we have a stone button. You press it and it sends a surge of current for like a second and then it goes away. So you can see right there. Then we have a wooden button. Same thing. Only the difference is, and I hope that I'm not wrong with this, because I was on my Xbox tutorial. I think if you shoot an arrow at it, it will activate the button. So, yep, okay, good. So if you shoot an arrow at a button, it will activate it. So you can have that for some kind of adventure map. Keep messing up typing. Okay. So now we have the lever. If you press it, it will stay on, transmitting a signal until you press it again. Then it'll stop. Here we have a wooden pressure plate. It can be triggered by standing on it or by throwing an object on it. Here we have a stone pressure plate. This can be activated only by standing on it. If I throw my bow at it, it won't activate. So here we have a light weighted pressure plate made out of gold. If I stand on it, it won't do anything. If I stand on it and throw my bow down, then it will have a charge that goes 1 away from the source. But if you toss down 5 blocks, it will do 2 blocks away from the source. So it needs extra blocks to kind of trigger, but not that many extra. It's just kind of something that you probably won't use too much, but you know, you can for like a contraption getting into more complicated redstone. Then we have a heavy weighted pressure plate. So if I place 43 beacons, or 43 vending block, it will have it go 2 away from the source block, and it can activate that lantern. So, now we have the tripwire. Tripwire is used to activate redstone current because if you put the redstone right next to the string, when you step on the string, it won't activate it, but since it's next to the actual tripwire, or the block that the tripwire is on, it activates the lantern whenever you step on the string that you place. So you gotta place a tripwire on a block, a tripwire on another block, and place string going in between them to use one. Here we have a daylight sensor. It will, it will transmit a signal, dependent on how much of a charge it has and things like that. It's kind of like solar panels in a way, so that's something cool to use. Then you have a redstone torch that transmits a constant signal unless you have another redstone torch, which is shown over there. But it transmits a constant signal unless you have another source of redstone current going straight into the redstone torch. Then it will invert it. So here we have a redstone block, which no matter what, if I place this, it will invert the torch, but it will not invert the redstone block. The redstone block is a constant source of redstone current, and there's nothing that can change that. So, now we're going to get into the, well, before I get too far, I should probably do this. Right here I have the majority of the redstone parts, and I'm going to show you what gets broken by water and what doesn't, because that's something that you have to remember when building redstone sometimes. If you're trying to build like a squid farm or something where parts need to be underwater, so you can see some of them are broken by water, others are not. So the weighted pressure plates aren't, and the daylight sensor isn't. All of these aren't. Break another one. Yeah, basically pressure plates and other things that are kind of blocks. Things that can't be placed on the sides of walls usually. Or powered rails, and rails like that can be gotten rid of with water. And then the tripwire. And water will also help to mask an explosion. So, right there. Yeah. So. Okay. Just wanted to get that so that you guys know what will and what will not work in water. So right here I have a lever powering a redstone current. Redstone current is powered 15 blocks, and the only way to renew it is by using a redstone repeater. So if I break the redstone dust and place a redstone repeater there, it is renewed for another 15 blocks, and it can power this. So, redstone repeaters can also delay the signal, especially if you include a bunch of them. You can have a really long delay. So right there, you can't really notice it because it's just one. But if I do this, and you can adjust the delay by right-clicking on it. So if I do this, I power it off, you can see there's a good delay right there. What's that? Get rid of all this. And then right here we have, I just messed that up. Right here we have a redstone inverter. It will invert the signal using redstone torches. You can have something like this that can be used for transferring a signal straight upwards if you've got the right amount of blocks that you're trying to transfer it up. So, whoops, you have a block, a torch, a block, a torch, a block, a torch, and every other one is powered, every other one is not, because the signal from this one goes to this one, so two positives switch it over to no signal, and then it keeps doing that. Or if you want to compress it, because you want to be more precise as to what level it ends on, you can do something like this. So, let's kind of look at that. It's kind of a checkerboard straight up. And the inverting of the signal is also shown here. I turn that on, and the signal goes off there. So I can kind of decide that. Right here is showing the signal go through a block. Now, it won't go through the block if the signal leading into it is made of... if the signal going into it is made of redstone dust, as you can see here, but if it has a repeater, it works perfectly. And then, if you have a lever like this, it won't do it, but if you place the lever on the block, it will activate it. So that's stuff that you can use to kind of conceal redstone. If you want to have a big wall and you just have a lever, you don't have to show the redstone outside of the wall. You can just have it go straight into a hidden room right off the start. So here's something called a redstone comparator. It does what it sounds like. It compares the redstone signals. So this is input 1 that I'm standing right next to. And because it's completely full, it releases a signal of 15. If I were to remove more of the stone from it, it would release a signal of less. And if I had nothing in it, it wouldn't release a signal at all. Right now, it is on... right now, this is on mode 1, where basically it will send out the signal of input 1 if it is greater than input 2. Input 2 is coming from this, so you have one block of redstone being used up, so there's 14 more signal going into this. So since this sends a signal of 14 and this sends a signal of 15, this overrides it and sends it out. But if I were to remove some more stone, this has less than a signal of 14, so it doesn't send anything, because input 2 cannot override input 1. Now if I switch it into mode 2, it does subtraction. So this right here has a signal of 14, this is a signal of 15, so it releases a signal of 1. If I were to go and do something like this, where I have the signal travel farther, and then it goes into it, and I set it to subtract, it won't go as far. Right there, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Goes 10. I think I miscounted that. It might be 9. Whatever. But yeah, it will go less because you have less redstone signal available. So, anything that you can use for this, you can use a command block right here with the command that kind of... there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. You can use command blocks, you can use a dispenser full of things, you can use a dropper, basically any container full of stuff. And since this is full, it will have a 15 signal. If I take out some of it, the 15 signal will go down. In this case, it went down 3. Alright, so now to the last thing of showing what each output does. So I've shown you how to transfer a current, I've shown you how to create a current, I've showed you how to get the redstone dust, and what water affects. So right here, if I'm not going to do the TNT, I'm going to wait till last. If I have a lever activate this door, it opens it, switch the lever, and it closes. So when there is a current, it opens. When there isn't, it closes. Same thing with a wooden door. However, iron doors you can't open normally, wooden doors you can. So then you have here a dropper. This will drop the item out as an entity. Right now I have bottle of enchantings. Just gives me a bottle that I can use myself. So, but if I were to go over to the dispenser, I'm gonna use that quick. Alright, if I were to go over to the dispenser and then use that, it actually uses the item. So, it also activates the two things next to them, because that's how redstone works. So it actually uses a bottle of enchantings. It'll shoot an arrow, it'll suit you up with armor, but the other one will just drop it as an item that you can pick up. Now this, as you've seen before, it will just light up the lantern. So, not much there. This will have the note block trigger. So, it'll make the sound. This experience. This right here is a sticky piston. This one is a piston. So the difference is a sticky piston. I activate it, it goes up. I deactivate it, it goes down with the block. A normal piston, I activate it, it goes up. I deactivate it, the block stays there, but the piston goes down. Obviously this would be different if you're using a block with physics like sand or gravel, but that's that. Trapdoor opens and closes, fence gate opens and closes, and the rail is powered. So that's how all of that works. I hope that this redstone tutorial has helped you guys. I'm going to try and make some more tutorials, some more in-depth stuff. Me making contraptions on this world. This world is just going to be entirely redstone. And I'm going to see how much of it I can fill up and then turn on all the contraptions and have my computer break, because that would be way too much lag. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.